Hi, I'm Peter from Coffee Parts, and today we're looking at temperature, specifically milk thermometers. Temperature plays a big part in all things coffee, whether it be in the machine or out in the milk. Now with the machine, we look at things like thermostats and PIDs, which control the temperature of the water running through the group head and out to the espresso, with different temperatures resulting in different extraction. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. Today, we're looking at the milk side of things, specifically what milk temperature and how to judge it, what thermometers to use, probe, digital, stick-on, etc. Let's have a look. In Australia, milk-based coffees are predominant, with 70 to 80% being flat whites and lattes. So milk is a big thing. And the ideal temperature for milk and milk-based alternatives is around 70 degrees. So really ranging between 68 and 78, with 70 being the sweet spot. You can argue it's between 69 and 71, but let's just stick with 70. Soy runs a bit lower at around 65 degrees, but that all will come out when you use a thermometer and you can really see where you're at. So when it comes to thermometers, the real main options are things like these, which are probe-based thermometers. And now when you're looking at probe-based, the differences will be the length of the probe, with the smaller ones being for, say, 400 to 600 ml jugs, and the longer ones for 1 litre jugs, or 1.5 even. And the size of the dial, with the smaller ones taking up less room and being kind of easier to work around with, and the larger dials, obviously easier to see, but they kind of get in the way. Now these are analog, and you can also get them in digital. Digital will be more accurate and let you see exactly where you're at, but there is a case where it's nice on analog because you see the ramp up in temperature. Generally they are 5 degrees behind, but as you see them ramp up, you can kind of see the progress of where you are. Now, although these thermometers have been the predominant and kind of the most ones you've seen in cafes, they do have downsides. With the analog ones, once you're knocking the jugs constantly on the bench, they do come out of whack and they can be calibrated. So all thermometers have a little nut on the bottom and you can get little tools and you basically calibrate them by doing an ice slushy and bring them back to zero. These things have gotten annoying to do, and over time people have moved to the stick-on thermometers like these that you see in these packets here. Numerous companies have made them, like Espresso Gear, Crema Pro, Latte Pro. And what they are, you basically get a jug and stick them on close to the bottom because that's where the hottest temperature of the jug is. You stick them on across here. Jugs have come out with these inbuilt, like the Latte Pro, where the thermometers are inbuilt on both sides, which makes it really easy no matter which hand you are, and they are replaceable. So if the thermometers wear off, you can just put new ones. Saying that, they are recommended you change them every 6 to 12 months, and some of them will last more than others. In the case of Crema Pro and Espresso Gear, they are dishwasher safe, but the others aren't. Something to bear in mind. And lastly, there are contactless digital thermometers, things like these sub-minimal, where you basically point it at the milk and it gives you the temperature. They're kind of good to check that you're at the right place, but you can't really use them as a guide when you're making milk and seeing it through, from the milk being cold as it runs through the 60s, and you generally cut it off at 65 and it ends up at 70. That's where the analog or the stick-on ones really work because you see the flow rate effectively. So with these, you see the boxes light up, go from green to black as they move up the temperature range and give you an indication. That's the one thing that digital is nice. When it does get the temperature, it beeps, but realistically, you've got your hand there. Thermometers, to be honest, aren't really even that needed. You can use your hand, but the thing is, if you want it to be accurate and if you want to be safe, just say you own a cafe, it's important to give people a safe working environment. So getting your milk temperature right is one of the variables. Another thing to note outside the thermometers is that there can be temperature depletion in multiple places. So even if you get your milk temperature right, if you are doing your espresso into a cold cup and then pouring in your milk even at the right temperature, you'll tend to find a 10 to 15 degree depletion in temperature, effectively going from, like, say, a flat white to an iced coffee. Now, the way to solve that is obviously having your cups on top of the coffee machine so the natural heat warms them up, or preheating them with hot water. Effectively, you want your espresso at the right temperature, generally 90 degrees, your cups hot, and your milk at 70 degrees, and you've got your perfect flat white, or any milk-based drink for that matter. Having high quality milk does help not only with the temperature but texturizing the milk. It will depend on how easy the milk is to stretch and get it silky smooth. So effectively, you normally want a 2% fat content in the milk. Milk that is lower is quite watery and doesn't stretch, and milk that is higher becomes quite thick and hard to work with. This is especially important if you're going to start to try and pour rosettas or any other patterns where the milk really does make a difference. Some milks are actually harder to work with. Some of those alternative milks, those soys, etc., can get harder to work with due to the fat content. When milk does go over temperature, specifically soy, you can see it curdle in your coffee, and that really is a no-no. So thermometers do help in just knowing how to cut off your steam just 5 degrees below its top point. When it comes to the stick-on thermometers, I'm just going to stick one on to show you guys. But effectively, you want to stick them down low in the jug. So let's just open a packet up. Once you get the thermometer, you just want to peel it. And then once you got your jug, you want it to be close to the bottom and kind of in the middle so that when you are holding the jug, it's clear to see. So if we just go there and bring it in. Now, it is important that the jugs are clean so they stick on well, but that's it. Once you've got it on, when you're doing milk, effectively you want to put the milk just below the spout, and then as you're steaming it, you'll see the boxes light up in black. Very simple, easy to use. Thank you for watching this video on milk thermometers. I hope you picked up something, even if it is a simple video. And one more thing, please hit that subscribe button and give us a like. Thank you.